Diddy reportedly offered plea deal involving JayZ amid legal turmoil. Recent developments suggest that Diddy has been offered a plea deal that may involve cooperating with authorities in an ongoing investigation, potentially implicating other high-profile individuals, including JayZ. Sources close to the case indicate that JayZ could be called to testify, raising concerns among his legal team and associates. As more details emerge, JayZ's name continues to surface, suggesting he may have had deeper involvement than previously believed. Allegations imply that Diddy may not have acted alone and that the operation could involve influential figures beyond him. While the specifics of the plea deal remain undisclosed, insiders claim it may have required Diddy to admit to actions tied to JayZ. Some unconfirmed reports even suggest JayZ may have advised Diddy to reject the offer, possibly to protect mutual interests. Federal investigators reportedly sought Diddy's cooperation in exposing the broader scope of the alleged criminal activity. However, Diddy has so far refused to cooperate, possibly to avoid the stigma and personal risk associated with being labeled an informant. This situation continues to unfold, with the potential for serious implications across the entertainment.
Hearing before Sean Combs' trial starts, when he walked into federal court today, he appeared to be looking for his family. They've pretty much been at all of the hearings that I've been to, but there was no presence of his sons or his mother or his sister who had previously been at those hearings. So here's what came out of today's hearing. Number one, the government acknowledged that they offered Combs a plea deal. Combs acknowledged he has no interest in taking that. They're going to move forward with the trial. They also talked about the jury selection process, which one legal expert I spoke to said is probably the most important thing that you want to pay close attention to before the actual trial starts. And thirdly, we learned that Combs will be adding 2 new attorneys to his defense team. And just to recap, Combs, who is 55 years old, could spend the rest of his life behind bars if convicted on trafficking and racketeering. He has pleaded not guilty to all charges.
Developments tonight involving the case against Sean Diddy Combs, what he decided in court today, and what this now means, the move coming just 4 days before his trial is set to begin. Here's Aaron Katursky.
Tonight, Sean Combs makes it official. He's rejecting the government's offer to plead guilty and spare himself the possibility of a prolonged term in prison. When asked if he turned down the offer, Combs answered, "Yes, I do, Your Honor," as he stood in a baggy beige jail uniform. Terms were not disclosed, but prosecutors did say a plea could result in a shorter sentence for Combs than if he's convicted. The decision guarantees Combs will face trial beginning just 4 days from now that will test whether one of music's most prolific figures used his power, wealth, and fame to sexually exploit both women and men for decades. Combs has pleaded not guilty to racketeering conspiracies, sex trafficking, and transportation to engage in prostitution charges that accused him of coercing alleged victims into prolonged, drug-fueled sexual activity that he called freak-offs and threatening them into silence.
Past legal troubles resurface amid current allegations. This is not the first time Diddy and JayZ have faced serious allegations. Both have been involved in past legal controversies that continue to draw attention. In December 1999, JayZ pleaded guilty to a third-degree assault charge related to an incident involving Lance Rivera. That same year, Diddy was linked to a nightclub shooting, though he was ultimately acquitted of all charges. These past incidents are now being revisited as new investigations bring renewed scrutiny to the actions of both artists. While the legal system addressed those cases years ago, their histories remain part of the broader narrative as authorities examine current claims.
Top rap star is busted.
JayZ turned himself in tonight, and the cops started working on his rap sheet, accusing him of a stabbing at a trendy party.
Kimberly Richardson is at Midtown South right now. Kimberly.
Well, Rosanna, just a few hours ago, police here at Midtown South arrested Sean Carter, better known as JayZ. The rap star voluntarily turned himself in here at the precinct earlier this evening. Now, Carter is being held here in connection with that stabbing fight that erupted at the Kit Kat Club last night. But just a few moments ago, Carter's attorney had this to say.
He's not involved in this, period.
He was at the club?
That's my only comment. He wasn't involved in this.
So it was someone else that did the stabbing and the hitting?
I didn't say that. I said he was not involved in it.
Now, Slovis goes on to say that at no time was JayZ hiding from the police, that they were in touch with cops all day and that they're trying to resolve this as gentlemen. But as Mike Sheehan shows us, others say they've seen the dark side of JayZ.
I have my faults. You know, I'm not a perfect.
A few months ago, both Diddy and JayZ were named as defendants in a civil lawsuit filed by a woman whose identity was not made public. However, the case was unexpectedly withdrawn shortly after being filed. According to unverified reports, the plaintiff may have been pressured to drop the case, with some sources alleging that JayZ threatened her, claims that have not been independently confirmed. Around the same time, JayZ released a public statement addressing the situation, while Diddy was hospitalized due to a reported medical emergency. During his stay, he allegedly made several phone calls. Just a week later, the lawsuit was officially dropped. The timing of these events has raised questions, though no official link between them has been established.
And a new twist in a high-profile lawsuit accuses rapper JayZ of raping a 13-year-old girl in 2000 alongside Sean Diddy Combs. The lawsuit, originally filed in October, was refiled today to include JayZ as a defendant. The anonymous accuser claims the assault occurred at an MTV Video Music Awards after-party. JayZ has denied the allegations in a statement on Roc Nation's Instagram, calling the accusations heinous and urging a criminal complaint be filed instead of a civil one. He also criticized the attorney behind the lawsuit, Tony Busby, accusing him of exploiting the case for personal gain.
Just weeks before the start of a high-profile trial, JayZ and Beyoncé were named in a new civil lawsuit reportedly connected to ongoing legal issues involving Diddy. Filed in Florida on April 1st, the suit was brought by Joseph Manzaro, who alleges that in 2015 he was drugged, transported without consent, and subjected to severe abuse as part of what he describes as a coercive and organized criminal operation allegedly facilitated by Diddy and others. The lawsuit also claims that JayZ and Beyoncé were present at a private gathering where some of the alleged events took place. These claims have not been proven in court, and no criminal charges have been filed against them in relation to this matter. This marks yet another instance in which JayZ's name has surfaced in legal controversies linked to Diddy, suggesting that ongoing investigations may continue to draw further scrutiny.
Combs is facing new accusations of human trafficking as he awaits his federal trial. In a civil case filed in Florida April 1st, Joseph Manzaro alleges, according to court documents obtained by E! News, that he was drugged, transported against his will, and sexually maimed as a victim of a coercive and organized criminal enterprise facilitated by Combs and others back in 2015, and named celebs such as Beyoncé, JayZ, and LeBron James as witnesses in the lawsuit. In his filing, Manzaro says the alleged events took place in April 2015. He states that he lost consciousness after feeling a, quote, greasy substance resembling Vaseline as he opened the front door to his home, after which he says he was transported to another residence, where an associate of Combs allegedly told him that the music mogul wanted him brought to a freak-off event. Manzaro alleges in the suit he was secretly transferred to the music producer's home through a concealed tunnel allegedly connected to Gloria Estefan and Emilio Estefan's Miami property. He alleges that upon regaining partial consciousness, he found himself inside a large party area upon information and belief that it was a birthday party for Combs' then 17-year-old son Christian Combs. There he was allegedly forced to appear in a penis mask. The lawsuit states, JayZ and Beyoncé Knowles Carter were seated in the room, and upon seeing Manzaro, Beyoncé Knowles Carter asked, "What's this? What's this all about? Why is this half-naked white man with a penis mask standing here in front of me?" Manzaro alleges in the lawsuit that he was then forcibly paraded through multiple rooms filled with people who were jeering and taunting.
Profile individuals, including Jacob Arabo, JayZ, Gloria Estefan, LeBron James, and Beyoncé Knowles Carter, are identified as witnesses due to their presence or knowledge of the events surrounding the freak-off orchestrated by defendant Diddy. Wow. And freak-off, of course, is something that we've heard many times before, both in Combs' criminal case and other civil cases, to describe these prolonged sexual episodes, usually with sex workers. But Manzaro is suing Sean Combs. He is suing a man named Eric Mejias. He is suing Brendan Paul, who's been described in another lawsuit as Sean Combs' drug mule. Emilio Estefan, who is married to pop superstar Gloria Estefan, and Adria English, who filed her own lawsuit against Sean Combs, claiming she too was a victim of sex trafficking. By the way, it's interesting he's not suing these other celebrities that I mentioned, like JayZ and Beyonce and Gloria Estefan, possibly because he doesn't believe their alleged liability amounted to a civil claim, but seems to want to call them as witnesses at a trial, although I have to imagine they will do everything in their power to quash any subpoena should this case progress, and we'll talk a little bit more about whether
JayZ has responded to the allegations, and, as expected, he has firmly denied any involvement.
Alleged freak-off reportedly happened in 2015 at both Gloria and husband Emilio Estefan's Miami mansion and Diddy's.
The rhythm is gonna get you.
That's where a new accuser claims he was sexually assaulted and humiliated by Diddy. And he says Beyonce, JayZ, and Gloria all witnessed his abuse, but allegedly did nothing.
Yeah, let's skip over that.
Okay. I don't like it at all.
Gloria and Emilio denying the claims, telling ET there were no parties thrown at that property between 2012 and 2019. The couple says they have documents to back their denial and will provide them in court if necessary.
I could not believe what I was hearing.
God. As for JayZ,
If you having girl problems, I forgot for yourself.
his rep tells ET he wasn't in Florida at that time to witness this incident. He was engaged in easily findable public activities that prove he was not at this event, adding, "This is more nonsense that erodes the trust in our justice system."
A lot of times people say things because they don't want to get themselves in a PR disaster. They can't be, write a check.
The new claims come months after a woman dropped a lawsuit against JayZ alleging he raped her 15-year-old.
Diddy and JayZ have often been seen as two sides of the same coin, with both facing similar scrutiny for their past actions. According to sources, the only way JayZ would potentially cooperate with authorities regarding Diddy would be if the feds had concrete evidence, such as recordings of him incriminating himself. Industry insider Gan Deal has stated that JayZ exhibits a level of violence comparable to Diddy, with the key difference being JayZ's tendency to remain more reserved, avoiding public attention. The main reason Diddy has faced legal consequences, according to some, is due to his more outspoken nature. At one point, even making public admissions of guilt on live television.
He always been the type of individual that wanted to have ups on the next person no matter what they was doing. He did the stuff to Ja Rule so he could go after JayZ. They not gonna come out and speak on nothing that has anything to do with them, and they praying that they not on the tape doing crazy stuff, being oiled up in the whole 9 yards. Until the Fed say, "Hey, yo, listen here. Hey, buddy, we got you on this tape." And girl looked like she was pretty young. We're not gonna show it, but we need you to come and testify against Brother Love. That's when they're gonna start talking, and they're not gonna be talking in his favor. 250 cameras all over the house. Somebody got caught stealing a cookie out the cookie jar. When you that powerful, you didn't get that powerful without having one or two or maybe three ups on something. That the people in power had gave that reign to Diddy, and Jay was next in line. So to separate him when in fact they may be two of the same, but because JayZ is low key, that low key sneaky, and Diddy is and was rambunctious, just out with it. It don't mean that they not two of the same. One just a little quiet with his shit.
What happened at the basketball game? When they ran into, you guys ran into JayZ?
They were just talking. They was talking amongst each other about their little white girls. They little skinny white girls.
And I mean, did Diddy always say negative things about Jay around you?
The time he was trying to get Ja Rule
To go at Jay, yeah.
Other sources who have worked closely with JayZ have echoed similar concerns. In an interview on Piers Morgan Uncensored, Jaguar Wright, JayZ's former backup dancer, accused both JayZ and Diddy of engaging in harmful and abusive behavior. Wright further claimed that there were potential victims ready to testify against both JayZ and Beyoncé. Interestingly, individuals who have been in competition with JayZ in the industry have often raised similar allegations, adding to the ongoing controversy surrounding the two.
Like I said, Biggie died, Tupac died, and then there was the fight between who was the top rapper now, Nas and JayZ, and then the next thing you know, Nas has a nervous breakdown and he's taken out of the game, and it's all JayZ.
It's all JayZ.
It's all JayZ. And he was working with R. Kelly, and they were making so many records together. You know, they made all of those records together. They both Aaliyah. They shared so much in common. You know? And then there was a falling out. And that's like it never happened. Whoever talks about best of the both worlds, best of both worlds. Nobody talks about that.
Nobody.
Because for 4 years, I've been screaming, not just Diddy, but Diddy and JayZ are monsters. And the victim-making machine kept going on.
JayZ has been notable by his silence since these charges were brought against Diddy. Why do you think that is?
Because that's what he does. He starts little fires everywhere, forces everyone involved to go and carry water while he sneaks away without a response. That changes now, Sean. You must respond. You have no choice. Harvey Weinstein, Jeffrey Epstein, Robert Kelly, Sean Combs have one person in common, professionally and privately. Sean Carter. This has been a fist of tyranny that has been punching through our culture and our society for decades. It must stop.
While Diddy was incarcerated, he and JayZ reportedly remained in frequent contact. Leaked audio from the Metropolitan Detention Center revealed that Diddy was making calls to various anonymous numbers, using credentials that he allegedly obtained from other inmates. In one instance, Diddy even instructed his son to reach out to JayZ, suggesting a continued connection between the two during his time in jail.
Phone call just leaked and it was posted by Social Details. This is allegedly a call that he had, and there's a lot of talk, a lot of code words in there, so we're going to listen to it together. Check it out.
Do not entertain none of this nonsense and nothing over the phone. I'm going to need you to get rid of all the leftover pizza boxes. The what? All the boxes leftover.
Now, this alleged leaked call from Diddy in prison was talking about getting rid of pizza boxes. Now, if you know your stuff and you're privy, you know exactly what pizza stands for, and that's probably what they're talking about and referring to on this alleged leaked call. Pizza, for those who don't know, I'm going to make it very clean. It has to do with children and selling.
Make sure you recycle the plastic like you talked about.
Now, in this alleged phone call, he starts talking about someone named Jay. People are speculating that may be JayZ, but there's no confirmation. At the same time, he talks about recycling plastic. I don't know what that could mean. If you guys have any idea, comment and let me know.
Everybody out there quiet as a motherfucker. Yeah, exactly. We gonna let them have their little fun, but I'm still gonna have the last laugh.
I mean, it seems by the call that he's looking for help. He's saying that a lot of people are quiet, I guess people that are on his side, and that he's going to have the last laugh at the end.
Man, just do what I told you to do, and don't forget about the list.
And then he goes on to say, don't forget about the list. And we don't know what that list is or what that implies, but this is pretty crazy. Do I think this is legitimate? There is no confirmation yet if this is legitimate or not, but this is the alleged leak call.
JayZ was not Diddy's only connection. Reports suggest that Diddy also maintained ties with prominent figures, including Mayor Eric Adams. In the weeks leading up to Diddy's arrest, Mayor Adams publicly honored him by giving him the key to the city. However, after Diddy's imprisonment, Mayor Adams himself was arrested on charges of corruption. This connection between Diddy and Mayor Adams reportedly became a focal point for federal investigators, helping them build their case against Diddy.
When I looked at that thing, to be honest, I thought that the people who was watching it, because you know at those hotels, they have security personnel that watch that stuff. And if they didn't call the police, they should be in jail. I don't care what nobody say. You know, whoever watched that tape and didn't submit that to the authorities, they should be brought up on charges.
Why do you think the video is barely coming out right now? Because you got a lot of people, you know, that's wondering why it took so long.
First of all, they know that Puff probably paid the security personnel because he knew it was on camera. When he made it to the hallway, when she made it to that phone, once that phone picked up, that's going straight to security. That's for emergency purposes only. So either the concierge or somebody that's handling emergency type situations when she picked up that phone. So now Puff probably had somebody pay them off. 9 times out of 10, he had somebody pay them off, bruh.
Big breaking news tonight. For the first time in the history of New York City, a sitting mayor has been indicted for crimes. ABC News reporting that Mayor Eric Adams has been indicted by a federal grand jury. We do not know yet the exact charges. Federal authorities have been investigating Adams and members of his staff, issuing subpoenas for documents and cell phones. Several members of administration have resigned. Some of them also friends of Mayor Adams. Again, Eric Adams, the 110th mayor of New York, has been indicted by a federal grand jury. We'll have the latest online and tonight on Eyewitness News at 11.